Welcome to Audience First, a podcast for tech marketers looking to break out of the echo chamber to better understand their audience and turn them into loyal customers. Every week, Danny Wolf has brutally honest conversations with busy tech buyers about what really motivates them, the things they hate that vendors do, and what you can do about it. Get access to practical information on how to build authentic relationships with your audience. Listen to and talk with your buyers, and apply real customer insights to your strategies and tactics. You owe it to the world to unmute your mic. Are you ready?
All right, welcome to another episode of Audience First. As always, I have a very special guest with me today. I have the one and only Justin Merhoff with me. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Hi, Danny. I am officially a fanboy, so thank you for welcoming me.
Love it.
Welcoming me. I'm even fumbling my words, so it's cool to be here.
Well,
Listener, first-time caller.
We're not strangers. You've been following on the show. You've been, contributing to some of the customer research work we've been doing. So that's awesome.
Fair enough. Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. Absolutely excited to have you here. So let's dig in, shall we?
Yep.
All right, Justin, tell me, who are you? What do you do? And why the hell do you do it?
So up to 25 years, I thought I was a cybersecurity professional trying to become a CISO. By the time I'm 50, I'm 44. So I've been trying to get a series of positions to set myself up for that. And I was turned down for directorship twice. The first time I got turned down, it was because I didn't have a college degree, so I went and got one. Second time I was turned down, I was told that I wasn't director material. My whole world flipped because I'm doing director of security and running a security program for an accessibility software company. So that changes a lot of things. So now my passion is obviously my family. My passion is cybersecurity. I really want to impact our field, but I want to impact it to help accessibility in any way I can.
It seems like you really found your niche with Deque.
Yes, right.
Why is that?
Similar to, well, I think, so there's research about the combination of accessibility and security and inclusion goes back to 2017, but it's mainly in research papers. It wasn't a lot. And then back and forth, different topics have happened. So I think it's lack of if I ask it, there's lack of awareness right now. I forgot where we were going. Sorry.
So you mentioned that you want to impact the security industry,
right?
With regards to accessibility as well. And Deque is an accessibility startup, right? Helping.
Well, not a start. So we've been around since '99.
Got you. Okay.
We're the leader in accessibility. So I was brought on just to be the director and to run the security program. That's where I was going. So now, but I found in doing that, I want to reach all of my base. Well, how can I do that if I don't have security awareness training and the tools to do that is accessible? Because most of the tooling that we have in our industry it's not accessible. So I'm kind of in a similar situation, not exactly, but of when I talked to you about earlier when we were talking earlier this week about FedRAMP, because in my last position, I could only use certain software that had a certain FedRAMP authorization. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing that now, but I think it's for good, because what it has taught me is that I was not communicating and securing everyone that I was supposed to when I was at my last positions. There's no way I could. There's no way I was. With 18,000 people at an enterprise company with inaccessible software, how was everyone getting security awareness training?
Right.
And then if the solutions we're giving them, right, if the password managers, the different solutions that we give out to the organization, if those aren't accessible and they need someone else to help them enter in a password because what you bought, they don't even know where the username and password part is because they're a screen reader user and the software wasn't set up to identify that properly. So they have to have someone else come. So now trust has been broken
Hmm.
because someone else has seen your company's employee's password, be it a family member, be it another employee, being an online service to help guide them, because that's around now too.
I love this conversation, and you're taking me down a rabbit hole. I'm not even going to get
Okay,
to. I'm not even going to get to some of the questions I wanted to ask in the beginning, which
go
is
for it.
totally fine because you've opened up, some really nice points that I want to touch on. And
Go for it.
before we actually hit record, you mentioned something compelling. You said that sometimes you have to even relay and talk to CISOs about the importance of accessibility. So I do
Yes.
want to know, how do stakeholders within your organization and across the industry react to the intertwining of accessibility and security in products, in services, in solutions?
So I'll start the first part. You said my company, and then you said like as I
The
see
industry.
as it is. Okay. So they, my company, and people that are in the accessibility world for the most part feel completely left behind. There are some security tooling that is accessible, so I have to give credit to that, but it's very few and far between.
Mhm.
Most of the solutions that we push out are not accessible.
What is an accessible security solution? Or what
So,
is what is accessible security?
so right now, because things are always changing, accessibility changes just like security. So the international standard are the WCAG guidelines, and the current ones that most are to go off of is WCAG 2.1 double A. And it gives you a set of guidelines when you're designing and developing web-based products.
Mhm.
And if you follow those it doesn't necessarily, if you follow those 100%, because that's the other misnomer. We're used to hitting a mark on security. It's a yes or no, we got the cert or not, right? But in reality, are you truly secure, right? You get my point. Like, even though you have the certification, are you truly? Depends on the point in time, right? So as things change, so does accessibility. So you constantly have to keep it. But I'm going to give examples, but it's very wide.
Mhm.
So accessibility definitely means for screen reader users. So if you're blind, there are there's assistive technologies that can run, but they have to be able to see everything on the screen. So let me give you an example. So if you're looking at just a common web page that has, the home, the tabs up on top and the information on the bottom, right? And, different pages, whatever. So if screen reader is going to that page, try to imagine that, it's going to go to, it depends on how it's built. So if it's built hierarchically
Mhm.
correctly,
Mhm.
it'll read just like your eyes would,
Mhm.
right? But remember, you don't have the ability to look around and decide where you're going. You have to read the whole page. So if it starts at the top and you didn't code it right, and it goes from the home bar to paragraph 3 to the left bar up here to the login top because you didn't code it right, imagine how that would be if you're even in sight. Like, why is it doing that? Why is it jumping around,
Right.
right? And then if you have the website to refresh too often, then the whole thing starts again.
Mhm.
So then they have to go back. So they've already read, oh, I finally got there, and whoop, back up to the top.
Yeah.
And that's even so. And then, like I was talking about earlier, you have the logins. If they don't know where, how sometimes you'll go to a login, and most of the time it'll say username on one side, on a part, and then password.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they'll be baked in to the element.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where you actually will enter in the password, but it's kind of like grayed out. Well,
Mhm.
how's the screen reader supposed to see that?
Yeah.
So now they don't even know where to log in.
Mm-hmm.
So Danny, you need to come help me. Can you log in? Because my screen reader, I cannot find the freaking username and password.
Mm-hmm.
Wife, friend, colleague. Okay. And this is where I disagree with the CISOs that say this is an HR problem. That transaction right there happens every day at most organizations, even when they have assistive technologies, because most of the software that you're interacting with is not. You are having potential breaches of security daily, and it's going right under your nose.
Mm.
That's what blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole point of this is to protect the whole organization and make sure that they're trained, right?
Right.
Well, we weren't thinking about that, and I wasn't either. Let me be very clear. I am not pointing fingers.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you mentioned that CISOs see this as some CISOs see this as an HR problem. Some, yes, I will mention some. But I want to go back to that. The original question is how do other CISOs and other stakeholders across the industry react to accessibility and security? So you mentioned some don't see it as an issue. Let's dig into that a little bit more. Don't let me detract you to your train of thought, because you had something burning to say.
I have a most of them, it clicks.
Okay.
The second it gets in their head, or that it connects, that they haven't been covering everyone, that security, I know it sounds a little lame, like the protector, wait, I thought I was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything right, but I just marginalized a group that I didn't, and I'm not doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I'm asking about seems like it's hard. So, and that's the other thing is they're going to have to recode it. I understand that. But just like security, we want security to be by design. So why can't accessibility? And why can't it just all be design?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they should all be a part of the same thing. But no, a lot of them, Danny, I've talked to, and even while we're in the call, like sometimes when I've had like one-on-one conversations with CISOs, it doesn't take long. Most of them get it and have been very receptive. I just think they just need to see it from a different angle. And sneak peek, one of your former guests podcast, or one of your past guests podcast is going to be interviewing Emily Keel, who the story I talked about where the student was trying to get into digital forensics and couldn't even start day one because none of the tooling is accessible. So she paid for a college course and didn't even get to do it. She can't even get into our industry.
My goodness. Well, okay, so let's try and figure out how to.
Layered. There's a lot of layers.
But this is the whole point of the conversation, and why I said that the conversation will be fluid, because I know this would have opened up a lot of different topics of conversation. And challenges. What do we need to do to kind of solve for that challenge of breaking into the industry when it comes to accessibility? Like, what would have helped Emily?
So awareness first.
Yeah.
Awareness first, but I have the plan to do this, and I'll give it away for free.
There you go.
If the companies make their tooling accessible, you can then fulfill the requirements at the colleges to have options that are accessible. So you will already be beating out your competition because they probably aren't going to do it. So that's one. Then you're going to have a loyal customer base, because I'll go ahead and say it. If you ask anyone about security and accessibility, most of them will talk to you about Cloudflare. And save your opinions about the tool, but I'm just proving the point that if it is accessible to them, they will get onto it and completely support it, because that's all that they have. So give them more options.
Mm-hmm.
I challenge them. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I could go down a whole rabbit hole.
Well, so like, are there any like, okay, so we talked about awareness. Great. What are some other,
Right.
descriptive steps that prescriptive steps that
Oh,
they could take to?
I went off the topic. Yeah,
No,
I
no,
went off the train.
I'm here to
Was
reel you back.
Yeah, and I love it. So take that opportunity, make the tools accessible, get them into the colleges, right? You see where this works? And then they're going to learn your tool. Then they're going to want it at their job because they're loyalists to the tool.
Mhm.
Like, to me, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I mean, that's one way. And not just at universities. Think of all of the workshops and different LMSs online and the different training that could be made accessible. Well, the
Mhm.
training could be made accessible, but if the tools that we're teaching them aren't, it does that's not fully making it accessible, right?
Mhm.
So we would also have to make those tools. So that work with the the tooling companies need to also work with the education companies. I mean, if they want to be in the curriculum as options, right? The CompTIAs, the SANS trainings. I'm not just saying universities. This
Yeah.
is everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
that's one way.
yeah, no, 100%. We talked about this earlier this week, but I do want to understand, when you evaluate any security tool or
Mhm.
solution
Yes.
or service, how do you ensure that they align with your goals and standards? And again, my assumption is that, based on this conversation, is that accessibility is a decision criteria. But what are some other
Qualifiers.
yeah, qualifiers that
So
align with your
it
goals?
would be getting a VPAT, and I should have already. So it's called a voluntary product accessibility template,
Mhm.
and so they would get an assessment of their tool. I mean, from DQ would be nice, and get an assessment of their product, and then they can share that with their clients when they're asked, "Is your tool accessible?" And then they can see it.
Mhm.
I mean, they would need to do those annually because that's generally the requirement, similar
Mhm.
to what we do in security, because again, it's forever changing.
Mhm.
And as tools change, you need to make sure that you're coding it, designing it, and developing it securely
Mhm.
or accessibly, sorry, and securely. So that would be one. Um, and then looking at the WCAG guidelines, and then even just to start, utilize the free tools that are out there. I mean, we even provide some.
Mhm.
Like, there's ways to at least get what this is going to look like for you if if you want to take this on. But I really think everybody should. And for your research, there's a lot of people with money that want to get into cybersecurity and they can't until the tools are accessible.
Mhm.
And the the other thing where, well, there's not a lot of request. Did everyone have to request the curb cutouts so that wheelchairs? I mean, everyone uses those now,
Mhm.
right? Like, if you're on the street, we take advantage. You get where I'm going? Like, if we make it accessible, it's going to help your product anyways.
Mhm.
Like, it's not going to hurt it.
Mhm. Apart from accessibility, or lack of accessibility, really, what cardinal rules do you think security vendors, plus the marketers, the sales, what's above, below, in between, are breaking these days?
Well, I was part of the problem
All right.
until Jason Carico. I listened to all that salesy stuff, and then I reached out to him, and he told me about WTF,
Mhm.
and then about audience first. And I personally, I want to be a better person and I want to be a forever learner. Well, I need to also do it then. And so when I learned about listening to what you guys were doing, I started doing it in practice and being a little bit more empathetic to the BDRs, because I understand from what Jason told me, because I kind of assumed, but I didn't really know that a lot of times it's usually their first position, and if I'm just coming in hot to just someone that is just trying to do their job, I mean, I wouldn't want that to happen to me, and I also want to kind of do that for my security program. We should be advisors. We shouldn't be scaring people. We shouldn't be scaring the BDRs either. Like I get keeping them honest. I'm not saying completely hug it
Yeah.
out, but you could still be nice.
hmm
And there's times where I've had to reel it back, but since listening to what you guys have been talking about and the message you guys have been spreading, um, I've been trying to apply it.
What
That's one. I think we need to do our part. We need to be open to it because, again, what if we do really want it?
I applaud you. For those who are listening, I am applauding. Yay!
Okay.
I
Yeah,
I
good.
tell I'll tell you why.
I like the description.
No,
Thank you.
because it's. Oh yes, that was very accessible, wasn't
It was accessible.
it? Bravo, Danny. I'll tell you why this excites me because I've made it my mission to help sales and marketing. Not even sales and
Right.
marketing, just really the startups, organizations, all functions within the organizations. And it's not a one-way street. In order
No.
to give, you guys have to receive. And
Yep.
now I have Joey from Friends. If you ever watched Friends or for any Friends fans out there, to give and to receive is to give. But what I'm trying to say is um the practitioners, the buyers need to be open to that feedback as well.
Right.
Right. So
Yes.
I do want to ask what is your advice for the buyers and the practitioners, those who are in your seat, right? And other stakeholders. What is your advice to become more empathetic and open to giving feedback for BDRs, marketers, AEs, even founders who are trying to provide innovative solutions and accessible solutions for them?
I think you do it and you do, and this is not to kiss his ass, but you do it similarly to how Chris does it, but do it to how it fits you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find the time that you're willing to dedicate and don't let it over set boundaries for yourself because you still work for you're doing your main thing, right? But this kind of stuff does help. We're helping the industry, we're
Mm-hmm.
helping each other, we're making connections while we're doing this,
Mm-hmm.
all the while trying to help each other. Um, but I think setting fair guidelines and saying, "Hey, you got to meet my criteria." Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk. Like, you know, I will talk to you on these times. This is what's available. Give them a Calendly link if you want. That's getting very popular, and have it set for the times that you're available, and do your part to give that opportunity, but also keep it controlled. I think that's fair because
Mm-hmm.
our jobs are already busy as it is, right?
Right.
But I still think we need to keep the other thing too. Sorry, I jumped into this, but
No, you're good.
one of my past CISOs, I kind of had an old train of thought before meeting him where I was very brand loyal, and he was like, "I get brand loyalty, but you need to keep them on their toes too." So fair enough. Every 2 years, you could reevaluate them just like it's a new deal, right? Just to make sure you're not missing anything else that's out there, right? Things change, especially in 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
So be open to the new technology that's out there. So take some of these calls.
Mm-hmm. So I love this next question. It's going to really help me and some clients out, by the way. But
Okay.
you mentioned brand loyalty.
Mhm,
And I know, I'm a tool freak. I have my tools that I'm like a
mhm.
diehard fan of. I won't budge. But what would get you to skip over a tool you've been loyal to and onboard, offboard them and onboard something new? What is it
If
that's
it's
going to get you?
accessible.
Mhm. Yeah.
If it's accessible.
hmm
I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you want to completely flip, all of Deque security tools, make your security tooling accessible, and I will talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Who does a
I
good
promise
job?
you that I'll talk to you.
Who does a good job of this, in your opinion? Let's get some shout outs if we can. If you can recall any that, without divulging anything private, obviously, in
Of
your environment.
who is handled. Well, can I tell you a call that didn't? Actually, no. I'll give a shout out. Let me pull up his thing real quick. I don't know if you want to cut this, but
No, let's
his
bring it up live.
name
Let's do it.
his name's not LinkedIn. Trying to pull it up. So this guy, his company, I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, I found it. So his name is Harley Sugarman, and he is the founder and CEO at Cypher.
Oh, there you go.
And they're trying to make they're trying to make security awareness training that is eventually they're going to get to the part. Hope I'm not giving away anything. Eventually, it's going to hook in similarly to, like, have you heard of Secure Code Warrior, where it can connect to GitHub, and as they're making commits, it can show them training if they're doing things that it's unsecure.
Oh, that's cool. So, like, in context.
Yep.
Wow.
And
right
then
on.
another thing that he showed me was, you know how a lot of training is teaching users at organizations to be weary of phishing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he took a different approach, and part of the training, one of the trainings that they have that he showed me, it walks you through in a sense, building a phishing email as a regular user, and gives you 4 options on each thing. Like, which one of these email addresses would fake someone out the most of these 4, and it gives you a value.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can even compete in teams while doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty cool. And when I talked to him, I said, well, the one thing that you're definitely going to have to deal with if you're going to be selling to enterprise companies, eventually they're going to ask for security awareness training to be accessible. That's the first thing in our industry that's probably going to get flipped the quickest, is the training.
Mm-hmm.
That's what hits, I would say, that, and password managers and different solutions that most of the organization uses. But I would say security awareness training would go first.
Mm-hmm.
But he took it and was all ears, and we had a whole 30-minute meeting, and I think we actually went over like a half an hour at least. I think it went over an hour. So that's what I'm open for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's people that want to hear about this, I'll talk to you about it. Like, I just want you to become aware,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're in the design phase still of your product. I mean, it's the easiest time.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't even gone, live, and you're still in the design development phase, it's way easier. Start designing it, accessible and secure.
Yep. All right, I want to shift over to the segment that I love the most. Not that it didn't have a great time. I'm having a great time so far. But this is my favorite
good,
part.
yeah.
It's called the shit list.
Yep.
The quick fire shit list. All right, let's talk about the worst thing you've experienced from a vendor. Go.
I cannot wait to tell you this.
Let's go. I'm sure you prepped.
As a vendor,
I'm sure you prepped, given all the stories on what the fuck.
Yes, I did. So there was an AE from a very prominent security solution firm. I will go that far. All the people who were on the call, we were waiting for one last person. It was talking about, I think like POC status or something. I forgot what stage we were at, but we were still evaluating. We hadn't decided.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at them for something, against 2 other companies. I was doing 3. So the AE goes, I can't wait to get out of this call because my wife's 5 hot friends are coming. You want to see them? Yeah. Let me just share my screen. Pulls up his wife's Facebook and shows us pictures of these people. The person that I work with and I were on this call, like, we were like shocked. I should have said something. I will be honest. I probably should have called him out, but I was just so we did not pick that product
Mm-hmm.
based off of that. That was one of the main reasons. Well, there was another reason I won't share, but that was the main.
Did you end up giving feedback to the founders or any of the managers?
I went up to one person,
Yeah.
and gave it. I'll be honest. If I ever talk to the person again, I would tell him
Yeah.
directly. But yeah, I didn't at the time. I should have.
There are so many things wrong with that. Just, oh man. So I guess really the alternative is that just don't do that. That's the alternative.
Right.
Well, let's flip it on its head. Let's talk about the positive. What's one thing a vendor has done that made you feel good? What worked for you? Oh, frisbees. We're seeing frisbees now. What does that say? It's backwards though. Hold on.
Traceless IO.
Traceless IO. Shout out to Traceless IO. What's up with Traceless IO and why are we showing the frisbee?
So I did not end up going with their product.
Okay.
And what the kind of solution I was looking for was not what they had. There was a misunderstanding. It was partly on my fault.
Okay.
Right. And how it started was I said, hey, I really do like your product. I like where you guys are going. It's traceless messaging. It's easy enough. They could tell you more if you have them on.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, hey, I have my Yeti cup that I got for free from some other vendor, and I have some space open on it. I know it's nothing, but I'd love to put the sticker on there. I mean, because I might use your product one day,
Mhm.
and you guys handled this very well. I didn't come exactly prepared. There was a miscommunication, but you guys handled yourself very well, and I really liked the company, the CEO, and the AE that was on.
Mhm.
And they said, well, we have the stickers, but we'd also like to send you a frisbee.
Nice.
Well, my children, I have them split time, and I didn't get that until the last 2 years. And for a while, I only had him on summers. And my son and I, even though he's 16 and typical, um, you know, always not really close to parents, we really aren't close. This came in, and we threw this for like an hour and a half, and I probably talked to my son the most I've had in a long time.
Wow.
And now we're playing frisbee golf together.
Wow.
We've already done 2 18 rounds down the street,
That's awesome.
and now it's like our new thing when he comes. So that was a good thing that a vendor did, and I didn't even buy him.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And you're going to remember them also down the road.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Literally down the road
100%.
when you're throwing the frisbee.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And it's just a simple token.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, shout out to Traceless IO. We'll hit them up and let them know that you dropped them here in the podcast. That's awesome. We're headed towards the end of the session, so I do want to know, are there any other insights or reflections that you have that you'd like to share with our audience today?
If anyone wants to help on this and challenge me, if I'm wrong, tell me how I can do this better. But I really think that we can do this. We're blocking out a whole community as well, and we've been talking about spreading D&I around cybersecurity and trying to get more people into our industry.
Mhm.
We should be open to that. And I'll speak on one last thing that accessibility brought me to also is that there's a whole community of cybersecurity professionals in Africa that often get missed. And there's a lot of offshoring that goes to other countries. And I'm not saying that they don't support our company as well, but Africa often gets completely overlooked.
Mhm.
There are options. There are a lot of people that are trying to break into the industry, but there's no positions there. So they literally have to leave their home country. Like, I understand leaving a state, but imagine leaving your home country from Nigeria or South Africa and moving to a completely different country just to get into cybersecurity. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
So I know that's even more like that's inclusion, and that goes even further. But why? Like, it doesn't make any logical sense. I understand it's probably more of the pay thing, and those structures probably haven't been set up. But we're a global remote world now. Why can't someone there are companies in Pakistan. Like, why can't someone in Pakistan do cybersecurity? Like, I understand you might, if you're not willing to take that risk, I'm not judging you.
Right.
But we're also blocking a lot of talent worldwide.
Right.
Because we're not open to it. So.
Those are very, very valid points. I'd love to dig into that on a separate episode and actually introduce you to some other podcasts that,
Cool.
touch on these issues. So
Please
be on the lookout for some introductions. Awesome. Where can people find you?
So I'm on LinkedIn already. And then I thought I had this ready. I don't really care if people connect with me. I'm trying to share the information for free. But I'll give you two things. The one is there's a group that we built on LinkedIn that has pretty much most of the research that I used when I came up with the different talks and things that I have been doing. So I'll give you that. If that, and then Deque.com. I mean, if they have software and they want to know more about how they can make their tools accessible, even if they're trying to build an accessibility program, we have consultant experts as well.
Amazing.
So if you do want to do that, come to us. And I'm telling you, I understand that people are waiting for it to be part of like SOC 2 or something. It's coming. And I'm just trying to help you guys be aware. I went 25 years, not pointing fingers. I want to help you guys get there.
Amazing.
So I can use some tools that are accessible so anyone could be in my role.
Awesome.
That's my goal.
I love that. This is super insightful and very empowering. We're going to drop the links to some of the resources that you shared. Justin, you're always welcome to the show. I mean, you're a dedicated, awesome. Listener and WTF goer. So keep on with that. I love your mission. Thank you again for joining today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. This has been another episode of Audience First. We are out.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Audience First. If you like what you've heard, feel free to follow or subscribe to Audience First on Apple, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast streamers.